When you play the Game of Thrones, you
Subscribe and like.
or you die. There is no middle ground.
All right, hello YouTube, and welcome back to the Grease Goblins YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the book-to-show comparison of Robb and Talisa, or Jane Westerling's relationship. So the first question I want to ask you guys before you watch the video, because I'm going to give my opinions on it as well, is in the comments, let me know which do you think did it better. Do you think the show did Robb's relationship, where his love interest, better? Or do you think George R. R. Martin and the books did it better? Let me know who you liked better. Did you like R and T, or did you like R and J? With that being, Jane Westerling and Robb, or Talisa or Robb. So that is the first question. Let me know down in the comments, which do you think did better? Because they're both inherently different if you've read the books and then also watched the show. So before we get into the video, if you guys like to like, subscribe, and comment, please do. It helps the channel grow to people that might like this content as well. And let's get into the video. So right off the bat, I am someone that watched the show first. For the most part, I watched up to season 4. And then between that break between season 4 and season 5, I read the books for the first time. So a little bit of biased might be in this, where I personally loved Robb and Talisa's relationship on the show. Now, the core of their relationship is different, because in the show, it's more where Robb falls in love with Talisa. It's a lot more on Robb kind of finds his person, right? Where he has already the arranged marriage with Frey's, but he kind of just forgets that. Maybe not forgets it, but he is so in love with this woman that he meets that it just falls apart, where the Frey alliance just falls apart. This is the woman he wants. Now, the books take a different spin, right? And I also want to say, before I get deeper into this video, this was something that we discussed on stream in the latest stream that we did. So, again, if you guys have video ideas, streams are a great place to get that information to me on video ideas, because this is one of the ones we talked about in chat for a while, and we went back and forth on. Because the books, as I was saying, focuses a bit more on other things than the show does, right? The show focuses on Robb's love and all of that, and playing on the idea of love is the death of duty, right? And vice versa, right? Where the books take a different turn. Because I think what I'm going to come to the conclusion is in this video is that both are good. Both fit both medias very well. Because the books go at it a different way. The books, it's Robb ends up getting injured in the Westerlands, and he's kind of nursed back to health by Jane. Now, again, it's kind of a weird scenario, because I'm not sure why Jane Westerling would be the one looking over him instead of a maester or a nurse or something. I have my own theories on that, and I've made videos about it in the past, talking about the Westerlings and how I think there was more going on there. But Jane and Robb end up sleeping together. Now, I, for the most part, always took this as Robb just kind of being horny. And then, again, he just marries her because he defiles her honor, right? Whereas a lot of people in stream chat really convinced me on a different look on that, where it's something that I think is interesting, is that Robb has just found out that his brothers are dead. His father has been dead for some time at this point. The war at this point, it's kind of looking like Robb can still kind of, I don't remember the exact timing. I don't know if Stannis has lost the Blackwater yet at this point. I don't think he has yet at this point, but again, the war is still something very stressful, and then all culminating with Robb still being, I believe he's still 15 at this point. He might be 16, because I know he lives till 16 and no further. He's 15 or 16 at this point in the books, and he finds some compassion and love, and for just a little while, he kind of forgets himself. So he ends up sleeping with Jane, and because he took her maidenhead, he ends up marrying her. It's not out of love. It's more out of a duty honor thing, which is way more of a Stark thing than, it is in the show. And it's something that I think a lot of people bring up to me, and I think it's a really good point, is this is very much more of a Stark move than the show version. The show version, when you really think about it, right, it comes off way more selfish, right? Because Robb is really, it's not like he takes her maidenhead without all this other stuff, and he kind of leans into flirting with her and stuff like that and having this relationship. It's not something where it's like Robb is in a very low point and he just kind of at a very low point makes a very bad decision. And that's the way the show goes with it. And then we have the playing off of, again, the Starks are very duty and honor bound. So of course he's going to make the decision to marry her because that's just what Starks do. The show, it's a little bit different in that regard and kind of goes against the Starks in that regard, where it kind of goes against the honorable, the dutiful Starks, and he just blatantly breaks his vow off of just Talisa. Now, to be fair, I mean, there's other things going on, right? Bran and Rickon, again, are also kind of dead, or dead. And things are not going great, right? The North has been invaded and other stuff. But it comes off a bit more to where you can kind of understand why Robb makes the decision he does. Now, again, the show, they really play on the strings of true love, finding that person that really is for you, and really playing on the love is the death of, duty, that we see with Aemon. And it's a really big thing with Jon Snow's storyline. And they really play on that. And that's why I think if you look at both mediums, they both work for both. I think the show, this makes a lot of sense personally when it comes to Robb. And even the themes of the show compared to the books. Because the books and the show are very different on their themes, in my opinion. Some of them are still the same, but that kind of makes sense. Now the books makes way more sense in the terms of the books. You have more time to develop characters. You have more time to understand why Robb would make this decision. And I always think it was a missed opportunity that we didn't see Robb when he makes this decision. We just hear about it through Catelyn. But Robb's decision here makes sense, right? It's something where Robb is a young man and he has needs, right? And he's going through a ton at this point, right? A lot more than most 15 to 16-year-olds should ever be going through, right? Leading an army, being king of the North, having all these responsibilities. Your family is dying. You've lost your homeland and your home castle. It makes a lot of sense. And then to also, use what your parent, Ned, has taught you to be honorable and dutiful and to kind of respect the tradition. So breaking a woman's maidenhead, really big thing that Robb, it makes sense why he's going to break his vow with the Freys. For that reason. So that is kind of my reasoning for both. And I thought this was going to be an interesting video, just talking about the dynamic between the two medias, the show and the books, and how different Robb's relationship and how that comes to be actually is, because it's something that I didn't really notice until last week's stream, where we were talking about it a lot, because they are kind of vastly different, right? They're very different, and they affect the medias in nearly the same way, but the reasoning and how we get there makes sense for both, and I think they both do a great job. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Jane Westerling, but I think both work for both of their medias, and I think they both make sense, right? Because in the show, you kind of don't want to have to introduce the entire Westerling house again and all of that, but the books, you have the time to do that, and I think it just made a lot of sense for the books. So let me know what you guys think in the comments after now hearing maybe you didn't leave your comment at the beginning. Leave your comment now. With the reasoning I just given you, which one do you like better? Or do you think they're equal? Do you think they're both pretty good and they both fit? But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and bye guys.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.